Lucid Motors closed Friday up 12.61% for the day, an incredible rally to close out last week. But I think Lucid Motors is set to move big, potentially to the upside and the downside. There's definitely a case for both of these, the bull case and the bear case. That's what I want to go over in this video. And yes, this does revolve around Elon Musk selling 10% of his Tesla holdings, or at least expected to, as well as we're going to go over what the news is saying is the real reason Elon is selling his shares and how this could affect all EV stocks and specifically Lucid Motors, because they are seen as a close competitor to Tesla. Even more over the past couple of weeks, there have been a lot of comments about them being a direct competitor. So we're going to go over everything. We're going to go over the option activity, the potential for a gamma squeeze, as well as the short interest and the 13F filings that are coming out from the hedge funds and institutions. We're seeing a lot of big positions that are now being bought, and this is helping to fuel the rally. But we will talk about it all and give you guys my opinions towards the end of this video. So if you guys do get value out of it, hit that like button for me, consider subscribing to the channel, all that good stuff. If you want access to all of my trades in real time, we are making a killing over there on a consecutive basis. Check it out, link down below in the description for the buy and sell alerts. And also the official sponsor of this video is Moomoo. Deposit $100 with the link down below in the description, get up to $350 in free stock, as well as a free share of GM. So make sure you guys go ahead and do that if you guys do want to. Other free links for free stocks as well if you guys want to support the channel in that way. That's all cool. Just thank you, love you, appreciate you guys for being here and watching these videos. So let's talk Lucid Motors. Like I said, up 12.61% in regular trading on Friday and down 10 cents or 0.24% in after hours trading. Not a big deal, the move that we did see in after hours. So that's not, helping to lead me in one direction or the other. Just a phenomenal day overall on Friday, and over the past couple of weeks, phenomenal move overall, going from about $25, and really we were in about $22.50 to the $25 range, and we have completely broke out of that and just detached from this whole range. Now we are seeing a perfect technical setup to see a couple consolidation days and then see a bigger move to the upside. But there's a lot to go over when we're thinking about, will this go higher, will this go lower, at least to start the first half of this upcoming trading week. The first thing to keep in mind is the option activity is starting to slow down, but there is a lot of options that are pretty deep in the money at the current time, expiring November 12th and November 19th. So as the gamma and the delta, or the gamma does start to fluctuate, you're going to see more hedging, and you're also going to see some de-hedging going on, which is basically buying stock and shorting stock to stay delta neutral. So you are going to see, the longer Lucid does stay above these key price levels, and really that's over about $35 per share, you're going to see more hedging happening and probably more stability in the stock, as Lucid Motors does have a pretty large float. So even to see this move that we have been seeing is phenomenal overall. And just September 5th is really where I went big on Lucid Motors, and I'm already up about 94%. So if you guys have been in this as long as me, then you're definitely looking at a pretty substantial gain at the current moment. Now let's just go over some more of the option chain, and then let's get to the Ortex data. So still for November 12th and November 19th, you're not seeing too much activity outside of really, the $40 strike to the upside. We're only seeing 2,300 for open interest, and then 6,000 for open interest at the $45 strike, and then it basically drops off all the way to the $50 strike, and then the 55, 60, and $65 strike. Same thing basically for this upcoming Friday. A lot of open interest at the $42 strike. It drops off till about the $50 strike, and then nothing too crazy for open interest in general. You do see a high implied volatility, so these options are going to move around a lot starting this trading week, and it's not really definitive what's going to happen here. Let's get into the Ortex data and keep going through all this information. There is a lot to cover. So the short interest of free float is at almost 7%, 37.79 million shares that are sold short. So you have seen some shorts cover on their short positions, but there's still a substantial amount of shares that do need to be bought back, and these short sellers substantially underwater on their short positions. That is no question at the current moment, and with the low volume that we have have been seeing, obviously not over the past week or so, but before that we were at 2.52 days to cover. Now we are only at 1.06 days to cover. So this means it will be pretty easy for short sellers to get out of their short positions. As well as that, the share utilization is at 61.02%, free flow on loan at 7.84%, about a 1% difference from the short interest estimate and the free flow on loan. So there is some ammo for Lucid potential short sellers to short this stock, and I think it makes sense to short the stock to a certain degree at the current moment, just because we have ran up so much. But when Rivian's valuation is coming in at potentially $80 billion and they are not even delivering vehicles yet, I do think it makes a lot of sense to have a $40 to $50 billion market cap for Lucid Motors when they are delivering vehicles, and they do have the longest range of any EV vehicle. So I think there's definitely a bear case in the short term, but definitely if you're buying Lucid for the long term, I think you're pretty safe at these prices. And by long term, I mean, the next 3, 5, 10 years, you're definitely fine buying Lucid Motors at the current moment. I'm not a financial advisor, not a financial planner. Those will always come to your own conclusions. As well as that, the 13F filings, we're seeing more of these coming out. A lot of firms holding on to their whole positions. But some notable ones to pay attention to right here: 30,000 additional shares, 54,000 additional shares. It doesn't tell me an average price in these, which is very interesting. And then you see 284,000 shares that were purchased by Van Eck Associates Corp. 68,000, 258,000, 200, 100. So some smaller positions, but some substantial large positions. 120,000 shares right there, 123,000 shares right there, 67,000 additional shares right there as well. So you are seeing some firms that are buying into Lucid Motors that is helping to fuel this rally. Some firms that have obviously sold out as well, but nothing I'm concerned about. I think a lot of this activity was from the last quarter and just a little bit delayed being reported. So that is really what you guys do need to know as far as the data is concerned. But the biggest thing, the real reason I wanted to make this video is essentially because Elon Musk did a Twitter poll saying that, since politicians want, I'm not going to call out any sides here or whatnot, we keep it strictly money on this channel, not political, but essentially politicians have been talking about taxing unrealized gains. Obviously Elon Musk has a lot of unrealized gains in Tesla stock, so he basically made a poll saying, hey, do you guys want me to sell 10% of my Tesla stock just to pay the taxes on it and basically make a statement? And obviously people did say yes. About 60% of people said yes. Now CNBC is coming out and saying Elon Musk faces a $15 billion tax bill, which is likely the real reason he's selling stock. And that's something that other, YouTubers have talked about. Meet Kevin specifically. I did watch his video on that. Essentially saying that Elon already was going to sell stock, but instead of coming out and just randomly selling 10% of his holdings, which would have looked really bad, to try to please people at the same time and make, a statement also, and probably drive publicity as well. We know Tesla does not advertise, so the more that they can get in the news, the better Tesla ultimately does do. But I think you could have a quite substantial sell-off. It's over $20 billion worth of stock that would have to be sold into the open market. So I do think you can see a pullback based off of this, maybe 5, 10, 15% on the higher end, and that could definitely affect just EV stocks in general and Lucid Motors. But at the same time, this could be seen as a bullish thing for Lucid Motors because they have kind of been correlating. If one of them stops correlating, you could see people go from theoretically Tesla stock into Lucid Motors, and you could also see more FOMO going into Lucid because obviously Peter Rawlinson, nobody substantial is selling Lucid at the current moment. So this could be a bad thing. It could be a great thing for Lucid Motors. Only time will tell, and obviously tomorrow we should get a pretty good idea of that. If I were to speculate, I think you will likely see a small sell-off in other EV stocks, but definitely Tesla stock is going to get the main blow from this. I don't expect a huge drop. If anything, I do expect a continued rally, a much higher continued rally, and then that pullback at a future date. Now, let's talk about my Lucid position and then wrap up this video. So I'm up $6,061, up 94.17%, market value at about $12,500. My average cost of $21.46 per share on 300 shares, bringing my portfolio diversity to 26.77%. I do have 3 covered calls that I did sell, and this was a terrible trade. I did it a couple days too soon. What day did I actually do this on? October 26th. That's a oucher right there. But I sold them for $215, so I only collected $645 for doing this, essentially agreeing to sell my Lucid shares, including the break even, so the premium that I paid on these contracts, at $44.15 per share. If Lucid is above $42 by February 18th, 2022, then I will obviously have to sell my shares at $42, which will suck. I don't want to sell my shares. I don't want to realize that tax gain. At the same time, I want to hold Lucid Motors for a very long time. So I'm down about $2,160 on these 335%. Now, it's not actually going against me at the current moment because Lucid is still above $42 per share, and technically I don't lose money until I do get to this break even at $44.15 per share. But still, this was just a bad trade on my end. I didn't expect the Rivian valuation to come in crazy. I didn't expect this big move overall. But if you're somebody in the same situation as me, I have a solution for you. You might like it, you might not like it, but let's go over it in case you guys are in this situation and you want to figure out how to get out of it. So you do have to have, obviously, buying power to close out this position, which, like I said, would be $935 times 3. What's that? Like $2,500 to close out of these. Buy these back because it says -3. You would buy these and then you'd close out of that. So you would have no obligation to sell your shares. You would have took a massive loss on that, about a $2,000 realized loss if you did that. Now, what you guys can do, just keep in mind what you're paying for these contracts, $935. You could go out, let's say the next expiration date, which is May 20th, 2022. You could go to, let's do, the $50 strike. You could do the $50 strike, agree to sell your shares at $50 by May 20, 2022, and you would collect a little bit more money than you bought these last ones for. So you could sell the 50s for $948, and you'd only have to buy these back for $935. So you'd make about $10 additional, obviously, profit on actually doing this trade, and you're selling it into the momentum because we're at the higher end. And this is what I wanted to do on Friday. I had some things going on and I wasn't able to do that. The only thing that you don't want to do if you're doing this is obviously just sell the same expiration date, in my personal opinion, just because you don't want to be forced to sell your shares. At least I don't want to be. And if anything, I would probably do the $45 strike as well. It's really tough to say. I might just hope and pray that Lucid is under $42 by February, or, you know, the closer we do get, maybe I can get out of them beforehand. Who knows? We'll just have to wait and see how this does play out. Hopefully none of you guys did make a similar trade as me and you're too worked up on it. Really don't want to realize that tax gain and, you know, get taxed on it, but it is what it is. I don't think Lucid will actually be over $42 by February. We will probably get a pullback. We're definitely going to get a pullback sometime into the near term future. That's probably when I would, you know, look to do something with these contracts, to be honest with you guys. We're up about 81.64% over the past 3 months. So if you guys get any value out of this video, hit that like button for me, consider subscribing to the channel, all of that good stuff. Check out the links for free stocks and the link for the buy and sell alerts. If you guys want to be notified every time I make a trade in stock options and or crypto, check that out. We have been making a ton of money. Obviously, Lucid trade, not a good example of that, but this is one of the few losing trades we've had over the past couple of months. So with all of that being said, guys, love and appreciate all you guys. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.